my question.
Yes.
It is not under detention, but it is still under control of custody. That flags it for it to be parked so that it can be checked correctly. It is that.
However, there was, to me, it was going to be transported. The next step was it was going to reach its consignee. I'm not aware of customs checking every consignment of bone meal just by virtue of it being.
Well, the evidence that we have received, if I understood it correctly, it is that because it is bone meal, it necessarily falls in the category of things that must be checked. They cannot come into the country without checking.
Yes.
So I'm asking you the question, and our understanding was it is customs that flags it for it to be parked so that it can be checked for that purpose. And really the essence of my question is, someone else, another agency has an interest in this, and you know it's bone meal. You do. So another agency has an interest in it. Are you saying the manner in which things operate, as it's such that you can come in, open it up, do whatever you do in the absence of that other party agency, that other state agency which has an interest in the container, and then you move on, and in their good time they'll come and do their whatever they do with it without any insight into what you did, and then later on, as we know it happened here, you are the one that comes back to release it, to say to the clearing agent, this can go. I'm just trying to make sense of that way of operating.
Yes. Okay, I hear you, Commissioner, and I hope I'm not laboring on the wrong point, excuse me. But what I'm trying to get at is, we were only aware of this customs detention notice after our search. The detention notice, when I looked through the inquiry, is dated the 23rd of June. So at the time of us conducting this search or inspection of the container, at that stage, none of us knew that customs had an interest in this container.
I also understood that ORS would know, because the communication, as this consignment is coming, the communication would eventually land at ORS, and ORS will inform whoever it informs. That's how I've understood that. So through ORS, there would have been communication on the system that this consignment is coming and this is flagged for reason A, B, C, D. Is that not your understanding of how it works?
That's difficult for me to answer, Commissioner, but I would say that in not all cases that we've encountered are customs and SAPS on the same page. To give you an example practically, it sometimes happens that it clashes, like SAPS is interested in a certain container, and then you learn that customs is also now interested, and it's only at the 11th hour when both parties are now interested to go inspect it. So I don't want to mislead the Commission, but I'm saying I don't think there's any system in place, or if there was, Border Police did not tell us, the warehouse manager did not tell us, so I'm saying to the
Well,
Commission,
Border Police couldn't tell you because you didn't speak to them. You didn't involve them at all. So they couldn't have told you.
Border Police is Sergeant Mkize, and
No, Sergeant Mkize is your lift. He's not,
Yes.
he plays no other role than to give you transport, because suddenly you find you have 27 bags to transport. Let's not make his role any bigger than that. He tells us in his statement.
Yes.
Yes. So he couldn't have said to you that, no, you know what, this container has been flagged for inspection by ORS. He couldn't have told you that.
Yes. Commissioner, if I may, if I look at the Governor's statement, it's page 777, right?
It says only that you asked them to assist with taking these things out of the container and then transporting them. Mkize says exactly the same thing.
Okay, Commissioner, if I may draw your attention to the last sentence on page 777.
Yes.
He says the container they recovered the drugs from was not part of the containers we were to inspect, and we were not part of the operation.
Yes.
So in the same breath, he says it's not the part of the containers he was to inspect.
Yes.
So I'm just drawing an inference. I may be misquoting him, but my thinking is that if he knew that either Border Police was interested in this container or whichever other law enforcement agency, he would have mentioned something to us.
No, that logic is faulty. I'm engaging you on the basis of you saying ORS, Border Patrol did not inform us, and I say, but you did not speak to Border Police. These are police on the ground. So when you say Border Police did not inform us that this container has been flagged, you are not talking about the patrol people who are going to be inspecting specified containers. You must be talking about someone in an office who is responsible to tell you this is what's happening on the ground. There is that container that we have flagged for inspection.
None of that was brought to our attention, Commissioner.
Because you did not speak to the right to the right people in ORS. Simple. But, you didn't call the commander, the border commander. I think, in fact, this in this ORS process, we have learned that the intelligence gets the information. Intelligence speaks to the ORS commander. Informs them, and then you guys go on to operationalize what is happening. So when you say ORS did not inform us, I'm picking a problem with you that you want to equate Mkhize and Governor as, well, we did speak to ORS, they didn't tell us anything. No, when in fact all they were was transport.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. So, at the end, where we land is the only people who were present in this operation were the DPCI members led by yourself and Captain Duma from Crime Intelligence.
And warehouse staff.
And warehouse staff, absolutely.
Yes, that's
and
right.
That is Ms. Pillay.
Not only Ms. Pillay, some other warehouse staff as well.
That the manager was Ms. Pillay.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, in your experience, you have done drug busts before, particularly at the port, and I take it that the port is a point of entry of goods for commerce.
Yes.
You accept that?
Yes.
At which point, must you engage the owner of the container? Because the container is carrying, I will take it, valuable commercial commodity. In your experience, is it necessary to tell the owner that we are about to break your seal? Or you break the seal and you tell them afterwards?
No, by experience, you need to inform either the clearing agent or the consignee, but basically the person who's responsible for that container needs to be aware that it is going to be searched.
And who was that person in this instance? Do you recall the clearing agent or the consignee?
At that point in time, the clearing agent was the custodian of that said container. And I took Captain Duma's word that, yes, he had phoned the relevant parties, and now he had spoken to the warehouse manager. And when we did arrive there, she was familiar with what, we expected of her. So in my mind, Commissioners, it was a consensual or voluntary search that was agreed upon.
So you didn't consider yourself, you're about to break a seal of a private cargo. You did not consider yourself duty-bound to at least satisfy yourself that you had the requisite authorization from the owner of the container?
No, I didn't go to that
Why
extent.
not?
I took it for granted that the warehouse manager was around assisting us, aware of what was happening, and Captain Duma further indicated that he had spoken to the transporter and the clearing agent. So to me, all parties that had an interest or were possible custodians of this container were aware and had given consent to search.
And what if Captain Duma was misleading you deliberately because he knew that you will take responsibility for that seal? Did you ever consider that as a possibility? His job is to provide the intelligence He testified here yesterday to be present when that seal is broken and the container opened, and to satisfy himself whether his intelligence was correct. Beyond that, he's got absolutely no role. So you take full responsibility for that container.
Yes, I didn't go do any further or make further inquiries to ensure that his version of events was correct. I did not.
You are aware that the clearing agent said they were never informed, engaged with, and they only learned of the seal being broken, the container being broken into after the fact, on the 23rd of June.
Commissioner, it's only when watching the commission that I became aware of that, and I want to explain why. During the course of this investigation, I eventually obtained statements from the transporter, the clearing agent, the consignee, all of them. And none of them, even this from Mega Freight, the representative that came through on the 1st of July, none of them expressed any dissatisfaction with the container being opened. At no stage did any one of them. In fact, they were grateful that the police had intercepted this rather than it reaching one of their companies or their company name being tarnished because it was found on their premises. So none of them voiced any displeasure at our search.
I'm not interested in particular in whether or not they voiced a displeasure. I'm interested in whether you knew who the authorized person for that container was. And your investigation diary would seem to suggest you knew. You knew it was Mr. Flowerday of Mega Freight. You reflect that.
Yes.
On the 1st of July 2021, if we go to CHC 268 at page 803, the entry there at the bottom is dated 0107, and it's actually countersigned by you on the overleaf at page 804.
Yes, that's correct, Commissioner.
And your inquiry file,
yes,
shows that you obtained a statement from Mr. Flowerday of Mega Freight.
That's correct.
And in that statement, he states that he was not informed. So you can't have learned from this commission.
No, sorry, Commissioner, maybe I missed it. In the inquiry file, let me have a look at what it's.
I'll give you a reference for Mr. Flowerday's statement. If you go to CJC 244.25, that will be page 654. And it's a handwritten statement, 654. That at 656 is dated 27 October 2025. That's his second statement.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Yes, I've got it.
That is the 2025 statement. But if you go back to 595, you will find his first statement.
We sat until late yesterday. Bear with us when you move.
Commissioner, if it's any consolation to you, I sat with you till late yesterday. I apologize. The point I'm making is there are two statements.
Yes.
The one statement is the one at 654. That is a 2025 statement.
Yes.
But if you look at that statement, it says, at paragraph 3, I would like to further my statement I submitted on previous occasion. Yes. That's at 654.
Yes.
So then we have to go find the first statement. And I'm saying the first statement is at page 595.
Yes.
You have located that.
I've got it.
And this is undated, unfortunately. No, it's dated May 2022 at 1445.